bucks. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
and electrical.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
Nobody goes to McDonald's more than you. Nobody.
No,
every meal,
I agree
every
with that.
I mean,
don't go
every meal.
Every morning you're there.
Every morning goes to
Every
McDonald's
single
every day.
I do it. Oh, I go every day.
Is it?
Yeah,
How many
that's what I
times?
mean. That's a lot.
How many?
Sometimes
I'm
twice
saying
a
in
day.
the next year I go 9 times. I
That's
go
high
9.
for me. I'm not going 9
Oh,
times
I mean
to
7
McDonald's.
times
Yeah.
a week. 7
Yeah.
times a week.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of
Every
times
day.
though. But you go more than once a day.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, so I'm telling you. So it's
But I just
500.
get coffee.
But you go 500 times a year. That's a lot. of times a year. The most I'm at is 9. I'm at 9. Jake's at 4, and you're at 500.
I say 4 to 5 for myself.
So, I said 9. You said 500.
Put it that way.
It is. Just do the math.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started. Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland.
Strickland for 3. And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Presented by NIPCO. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Welcome in. A happy Friday to you. You are almost at the end of another week, but don't tune out now. Keep us fired up at your desk, on your drive, wherever it is you are in Lincoln or around the great country of America, around our great world. Thanks for tuning in to On the Block. We're with you till 4 o'clock here Central Time on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Austin Norman, joined by Erick Strickland. Stricky, baby. Happy Friday, my guy.
Yay, and
we
that
here.
it is. It's Friday. As Stricky made it through Thursday. I made it through. I've already texted my guy, Uncle Kevy. Kevy's got my Pinot Noir waiting on me, so I'm gonna have a great weekend. I can't go with the patio pounders, the ones that he said. What was the name of it again?
The koala tears.
Yeah, I can't do koala tears this week. That would have me laid up and laid back somewhere. That was potent. I mean, in a good way, because you can literally sip on and drink that to your heart's content, and mess around and be sleep content. and after the a few of those. But yeah, it was good, man. I had a good time yesterday. It's a great day today. Happy weekend to each and every one of you, and thank you for listening to On the Block.
For sure. A lot of people to shout out here in this first segment before we get to the news and the happenings here across the wide world of sports. Let's start with Nebco, who sponsors our show. Appreciate them for everything they do for us. Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for ready mixed concrete. Apply today and start your career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. Nebco and Ready Mixed Concrete offer great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for your CDL training. Visit nebcoinc.com or readymixedconcrete.com to learn more. Some quick news of the day. Haymarket Park, the taps are flowing. They open them up. A 9-2 vote will mean there's beer available for you at Haymarket Park. So the Pepsi porch can now be the patio pounder porch.
Patio pounder court. Yes.
How about that? Patio pounder porch.
I've got a what is it? A trademark on that name though.
You do.
Yeah, you can't touch that one.
You can license it with the university.
I could give it to them.
They can touch you with some money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
It is.
Shout out to the captain.
Yeah.
They got Matt Rule on today.
They did. If you missed it, TakeFM.com.
Check that out. Big. That's pretty good, man. That's dope to get Coach on and have an in-depth discussion on what's going on down there and plans and ideas and thoughts and the heart of the man right out here on 937 The Ticket. Shout out to him.
Big shout out to Coach Rule for stopping by. Sean Padden, his general manager for the football team, stopped by. Want to shout out Good Sense? Good Sense Friday.
Oh,
okay. 5 Lincoln locations.
Love
Check them out if you need supper plans here, or maybe a late lunch. Hopefully not a late lunch. It's 2:30 after all. But hey, supper plans tonight. 5 Lincoln locations for Good Sense. Big thanks to them and our friends down at Canopy Street Market. Officially got to meet Dan.
You got to meet Dan,
Market.
Man?
Yes, I have not officially met Dan face to face. I had to swing by there to pick some stuff up. So Dan, you're the man. Appreciate you listening. Appreciate the conversation we had. And thanks for all you do for 93.7 The Tickets, as well as the student athletes that come through here. We'll take a break. When we get back, we'll fill you in on some Nebraska men's basketball transfer news. Saw some predictions that another name could be in the mix for Nebraska, a familiar name, an interconference name, and potentially another visitor on Monday. We'll go over that. We'll also talk some NIL. Virginia might have solved NIL. I want Stricky's thoughts on if this will be a solution, be the solution, or if it's just going to make the problem more convoluted. If you have any thoughts on anything we're talking about, let us know. 402-464-5685. Big thanks to Sartor Heyman Jewelers for sponsoring our text line. And we got people in the back if you want to call. Honda of Lincoln hotline, same 10 digits. He's Strick. I'm Austin. You're on the block. We'll be back in just a minute.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you don't just get a great workout, you get a great perk out because your membership is packed with perks. For $1 down and $24.99 a month, you'll get perks like access to any of our 2,400 clean and spacious locations. Bring your friend anytime and both work out with tons of equipment that'll give you that big fitness energy. Relax in the Black Card spa and more. Work out and perk out with the PF Black Card. Join for just $1 down and $24.99 a month.
Hurry, this deal ends soon.
See Home Club for details.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's a great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays, games of bowling, shoe rentals, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
On the Block with Strick and Austin.
When you're a New York Knick in New York, I mean, you're talking about, you see mafioso types. You go into a restaurant and you would literally eat. Hey, come on over here. You know, they I don't know how to say it. I don't got the accent, but they would say, come straight, come over. Have a drink on me. And what are you going to do? Say no?
You not say
you
no
don't
to that?
say no to the drink. You don't say no.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. The captain, Vershawn Jackson.
Mike Minner, what's up, bro?
When you look at Dylan, you're looking at quarterbacks that kind of come around once every 20 years. And this is a kid I'm looking at, I don't know how old he is, 17, 18 years old. And he is already directing things that 17, 18-year-old kids should not even know. Changing the line protection. Okay, guys, I don't know what we've been 2 weeks of practice. Come on, man. Well, we got guys in the National Football League that can't do that.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
Nobody goes to McDonald's more than you. Nobody.
No,
every meal,
I agree
every
with that.
call. I mean,
don't go
every meal.
Every morning you're there.
Every morning goes to McDonald's
single
every day.
I do it. Oh, I go every day.
Is it?
Yeah,
How many
that's what I
times?
mean. That's a lot.
How many? I mean, sometimes
I'm
twice
saying
a
in
day.
the next year I go 9 times. I
That's
go
high
9.
for me. I'm not going 9
Oh,
times
I mean,
to
7
McDonald's.
times
Yeah.
a week. Seven
Yeah.
times a week.
That's what I mean.
Yes,
But there's a lot of
every
times
day.
though. You go more than once a day.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, so I'm telling you. So it's
But I just
500.
get coffee.
But you go 500 times a year. That's a lot. 500 times a year. The most I'm at is 9. I'm at 9. Jake's at 4, and you're at 500.
I say 4 to 5 for myself.
So I said 9. You said
Put
500.
it that way.
It is. Just do the math.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is neither here nor there, but I spent all of the first segment wondering what was different about the headphones, only to find out they are different headphones. So that's where I'm at on this Friday. Hope you are in a better space heading into the weekend than I am. Austin Norman, Erick Strickland with you. Stricky, Nebraska men's basketball might be at it again. Obviously, we know they have a lot of work to do yet in the transfer portal market.
That's a fact.
Yesterday, the Huskers hosted a familiar name for an on-campus visit. That name, Connor Esijan, shooting guard who played his previous 2 seasons with Wisconsin. He's 6'4", 185 pounds out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. Interesting career for Connor Esijan so far at Wisconsin. As a freshman, he played in 35 games, started 19 of them, shot 47% from 2 and 36% from 3. 88% at the free throw line, averaged just about 12 points per game, 4 rebounds in there as well, being part of the all-freshman team. And then his sophomore year, maybe it's a sophomore slump, maybe it's AJ Storr related. His numbers tanked. He played in 33 games for the Badgers, didn't start a single one of them, fell off from shooting 36% to 30% from three-point range, only scored 3 points. His minutes decreased from 27 all the way down to just 7. I don't think Connor Esijan forgot how to play basketball. Do you think there's anything more to it than, hey, AJ Storr was really good?
Well, sometimes, like I said, one of the things that happens is once you come on the scene, there's things about your game that is unknown.
Mm-hmm.
So what ends up happening is you can have breakthroughs, you can have breakouts, you can have tremendous games because the scouting report hasn't caught up with you. Okay, now we've got a year of film on you. We've got multiple game tapes on you now to where we can assess where your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, so then we can devise a defensive plan on how to play you, what we're going to do to you. Like that's one of the areas in which I think CJ Wilcher ultimately struggled, is because it was found out that, one, you want to make him put the ball on the ground. His handle's not necessarily tight, can shoot the ball very well. So if you get space, he gets time, he can hurt you. So that's why you saw a lot of defenses running him off, and running him off enough to dissuade him from, pulling the shot, but forcing him into trying to step off. But so not running by him, not running so far by him, but closing out with a high, because it takes time for a shot to get off. So if he catches it, he's not that Steph Curry, like where that ball is gone as soon as it touches his hand. So that's where guys like that, Esijan, they have certain things about them. That's why you have to come back with a little bit something more. You have to come back with some counters. You got to come back with a different skill set, maybe a float game, something. But I think it caught up with him. And so now you're hoping that he's learned from that. That's what they call sophomore slumps. They have it in the NBA too. Same thing. It's just after your rookie year, you may come back. I think my sophomore year, I struggled a little bit. Part of it was injury, but yeah, I struggled a little bit. And then I said, okay, I understand what I need to work on. That's something that you're probably seeing out of him and why he didn't have the year he had.
And you look at both, CJ Wilcher, who did leave Nebraska, and then Connor Sejan, who visited Nebraska yesterday. Both of those guys are good shooters, maybe not elite shooters. So when you like you're saying, high hands, run them off enough to make him put it on the deck. Inconsistent handle. CJ Wilcher had some moments where he'd flash a nice little spin, but just as often as he did that, he would maybe fumble the ball, lose it in a little bit of traffic. Sejan's the same way, where I think both those guys are best as spot-up shooters, and you don't want them handling the ball too much, right? Not trying to get too fancy, too creative. But Strick, this is something you've talked about a lot, and I think this is another case where maybe the first thing Nebraska needs to teach these guys is shot fake, one dribble pull up, right? Create that space past the defender and then pull up from 18 feet. Is that something that every spot up 3-point shooter needs to have in their bag?
I think they do. And the reason is because the game has gotten either you're shooting the three or you're trying to go to the basket. And so you're trying to challenge guys like these Cliff Amores, these Zach Edey's. I mean, why? You're going to have a better look at the mid-range with smaller spacing, and then you were going to get at trying to go at the basket and challenge these guys and throwing up some old, up and under, just some old crazy shot trying to, draw a foul or whatever the case. Just get to a mid-range. It is, listen, Allen Houston made a freaking whole lot of money out of the mid-range. Guys like DeMar DeRozan hasn't changed the fact that he doesn't really shoot threes well. He's made a long and great career out of it. Jimmy Butler out of the mid. There's just guys,
Melo,
guys
KD.
making Chris Paul. These guys, they understand it because the mid-range opens up the whole range. Do I need to say that again?
Put that in the Strictionary.
The mid-range opens up the whole range because it puts everybody on notice when you get to the mid-range. Centers, they don't know what you're going to do if you're going to pull up. You can get into beat the guy, slow, hezzy, look as if you're going to pull. The center doesn't want you to just take that shot, especially if they know you're deadly at the range. They come out, and that's sometimes where you get that little slow, hezzy by you at the rim. Steve Nash made a career out of knowing when to shoot the mid-range because that's what allowed him to get all those quick, he had that quick off odd foot, type layups. There's guys that can do that very well.
How much of that was the soccer upbringing?
Yeah, his footwork, it was definitely out of the soccer upbringing. I mean, he was very skilled. We would come in practice and he would always be doing knees and, just whatever I can't remember what they call it in soccer, but I would do
juggling?
it with him. Some juggling. Yeah, he would come in juggling, flipping balls off the back, kicking it, kicking it at the rim. That helped him. That helped him tremendously. I think anybody that has a young child, those who are listeners, and you have aspirations for them to play basketball, I would say put them in soccer. Get them the footwork. The footwork is so imperative and important in basketball, both on the defensive side and the offensive side. Speed, work, quickness, just the ability to change pace. All of that stuff comes out of soccer, and you can teach them that by just still allowing them to run.
Right.
Good
old-fashioned cardio.
Yeah, different type of shape, but you learn all of those things, and then they become applicable in basketball.
Makes sense. Troy and Lincoln, appreciate the text. I will get to you here in just a moment. The reason I bring up Connor Sejan is because he visited Nebraska yesterday, but Nebraska is going to host a very similar player on Monday. This player is named Brendan Housen. So he's from Amarillo, Texas, played at Villanova. I believe he just played 2 years. Yeah, just like Sejan, played 2 years, came off the bench, all 66 games in his career. His minutes basically doubled from his freshman year to his sophomore year. His points per game basically doubled. In his 3-point attempts, more than doubled. But Strick, whereas you saw Sejan go from 36% down to 30, Brendan Housen went from 43% to 38%, but he did it by taking 5 threes per game his second year instead of 2 threes his first year. So increased volume, slightly lower efficiency. I think they're similar players. Housen is a little bit thicker. He's 6'4", 205 is what he's listed at, whereas Essegian is at 6'4", 185. But here's just kind of the philosophical question for you. Would you rather have an in-conference transfer who knows the landscape, who knows the road trips, who's comfortable with the opponents you're going to play, or would you rather have a guy from out of conference who there's maybe not as much film out there on when you're adding him to a program?
How's that work for us so far? What you think?
I'm asking you. You're the Husker Hall of Famer.
I think so. I think it's worked. I think the additions of Bryce, I think the additions of Rink, I think those additions,
Bandamel, Gary.
Yeah, I think they give you a different flavor. I think it raises the game intent or mentality of those coming in because they know they have to.
Mm-hmm.
They know they can't stay the same. They know they've got to do more, do better, increase aspects of their game. Otherwise, they're going to get exposed. I mean, you don't want to. I will say that young men, young women of the day are probably competitive in a manner in which they don't want to get embarrassed. I mean, you're talking about an Instagram generation, a TikTok generation. You know, you come in and you stink up the arena, and you could be on a highlight film for somebody talking crazy about you. Nobody wants that. Everybody likes the good press, the good highlights, the good noise. So I think that is something that I believe that young men and young women of the day don't want to get exposed or embarrassed.
Right.
And so they're going to work on themselves. I think that's something that's important.
I'm with you on that. I guess for me, the final answer is whichever one's the better fit for the program, right? To me, it doesn't matter where the player comes from. And we've had that discussion, whether it's the transfer portal or even high school recruiting, right? A lot's made in Nebraska about the 500-mile radius, owning that. And yeah, it's important to a degree, but just find the right fit for the program. I think these are guys with similar skill sets, but in this case, Strick, if you're asking me to be the Nebraska general manager, I think I want Housen a little bit more, right? Not quite as inconsistent. And I think the Big East is, if not the best basketball conference, the second best basketball conference in the country. Yeah, he was at a Villanova team that underachieved, but I still think that Big East education can go a long way, a little bit bigger body, a little bit more consistent. But if you tell me Nebraska ends up with Connor Essegian, I still think that's an okay get for that.
Yeah.
You're not mad about it at all because, again, knowing the Big Ten, you don't have to worry about that transition. He's seen Nebraska. Nebraska's seen him, might have a better idea on what he can do and what he can't do. So I guess the hope isn't that Nebraska ends up with, one over the other, but I think Nebraska needs at least one of these guys that it's targeting.
Yeah, I think so. I'm still going to say that we're looking very Wisconsin-ish right now.
But doesn't that make you wonder too? Like,
I'm not against it. I'm just saying, I talked about this before. I'm saying we don't have right now, and that's not a bad thing. I still think we're year 2. You can get there. I think if you just want to go to another level, you with the same type of talent, you're going to either have to play with a deep bench where everybody's able to give you something, probably some size. You're going to have to find something that makes you unique.
Right.
Either you're super athletic, you have a super ability to penetrate and get into the paint with ease. You can stroke the ball like a freaking, you've got to figure out a niche that can help you to overcome and go to another level. Right. Niches can be exposed and niches can be used to your benefit. If I ask you, where would you see with what we're bringing, what would be the niche for Nebraska right now?
To me, it's going to have to be the shooting. I don't think Nebraska is athletic enough to hang consistently. The examples we keep bringing up are Terrence Shannon Jr. and Wade Taylor, right? I think we saw what those guys could do athletically against Nebraska. Even Cliff Amore at Rutgers. just how he was able to jump over Nebraska's guys. So if Nebraska is not going to be able to jump as high, run as fast, change direction as quick, to me, Strick, the great equalizer in this day and age of college basketball is shooting. So I think Nebraska needs to shoot better than 35, 36%, right? If you look at Nebraska's numbers across
they need
the
to
board,
be up like where Duke was.
Sure.
38.
Right.
I think I'm saying next level.
Yes, correct.
Average, get to the NCAA tournament, cool, 35, 36. I think you're still there with this team.
Yeah.
But next level, you got to be 38, 40.
Right. Because if you look at Nebraska's numbers across the board, whether it's, 2-point percentage, 3-point percentage, rebounding, steals, points per game, points allowed per game, they're all good, but there's not one elite category. If Nebraska is going to take a next step and be elite at something, to me, I think the simplest thing to do is get elite at shooting. But that's not as simple as just get a lot of jumpers up, as you know, right? It's get more fundamental, set good screens,
right?
Because that's how you're going to get into the paint, create those numbers, opportunities, and kick out. So I guess for Nebraska to be an elite shooting team, Nebraska needs to be an elite fundamentals team.
Well said. That's where I was going, because that's what it looks like they're building towards for me.
Mm-hmm.
Can Eulis, can those other guys be there? Like, you do need a good penetration guy. If you that can just turn the corner, don't necessarily need to score, but can, because you don't want everybody to fan out when you turn the corner and get to the, those mid-range zones, or just into the paint, or just above the restricted area. You want to have something that you can do. Have your floater, have touch, have great creativity and finish, something, because otherwise everybody's going to fan out away from you, and you're no benefit to anything at that point.
We saw that in the national championship game, right? It was an entry to Edie, and then everyone fanned out. But same thing. If let's say it's Eulis or Worcester, if they drive and their man feels confident enough to stay attached at the hip and still be in position to defend the shot, that means the weak side guy doesn't rotate over to try to help. That takes away that skip pass, that extra pass for the shot. It kills the team's confidence and flow on offense if you can guard one-on-one.
That's what I was going to say. Even in as great a niche that Purdue has with the size, the abilities of the Naismith player for 2 years, just a tremendous talent in the middle. It can still be overcome. With strategy. And that's what, Hurley family, they're built on that. I mean, they've learned that stuff from dad since they were kids and grew through it.
Right.
It's a family of that, right? And that's what they did. They used strategy. And they had enough of other elements, size, strength, rebounding, guys who can, like Castle, physical, strong, can get in there, hurt you. And then mid-range guys,
Newton.
And the other one that transferred.
Cam Spencer.
Yep. Right? Yeah. They had enough of that. And then once the run hits, their twos and threes to your twos, it's just tough to catch up. So,
impossible in this case. UConn only lost 3 times all year.
Yeah. And they've done it. And that's where I said they played like boys among men. I'm not talking about boys to men.
That's the next step for Nebraska. Go from boys to men.
There you go.
How about that?
Yeah, I am. So I'm not against. I'm not sad or disappointed at the direction they're going. I mean, they're creating whatever, hopefully a niche that can give them what they need. And maybe they wanted to go in that direction and didn't feel that some of the players they had could give them. I don't know. I don't know. I can't say for sure, but I can see that they're going in the shooting direction.
One thing from the text line, we're going to take a break and then we'll have a little bit more of a fleshed out segment with the rest of the text. So 8985 says, I haven't had a chance to listen much today. Just wondering if anyone's talked about Casey becoming an admiral in the Nebraska Navy. Yeah, good for Casey, ambassador, a goodwill ambassador to Japan. That's really cool. I had no idea that was coming. I don't know if he did either, but hey, he's a Nebraska icon for life, the things he did at Nebraska. So, if it means he can go back and forth between Nebraska and Japan, just like that as the admiral in the Nebraska Navy, hey, sign me up for it. 3994, Brad from Baldwin, Troy in Lincoln. Love your thoughts. Want to get to them. We'll take a break. Don't go anywhere, and finish up a little text bag when we get back.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue. It's $5.99 barbecue time. Hurry to Hog Wild for a complete barbecue meal that's only $5.99. Get a one-meat sandwich loaded with our award-winning barbecue, plus your choice of a classic side and drink for just $5.99. Upgrade your sandwich to beef brisket for just $1 more. Join us for lunch or dinner in Lincoln at 3210 Cornhusker Highway. Order online at GoHogWild.com.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
This is Lancaster County Attorney Pat Condon reminding you to vote for my friend and colleague, Carolyn Bozin. Carolyn Bozin is a strong voice for Lincoln who we need representing us in the legislature. Carolyn Bozin voted for historic funding for education to support our schools and for the largest property tax relief package in Nebraska history. Carolyn Bozin is the voice we need representing us in the legislature. This is Lancaster County Attorney Pat Condon. Join me in supporting Carolyn Bozin for legislature on May 14th.
Paid for by Bozin for legislature.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with only 4 Lincoln locations. Guess what?
What?
There's 5 Lincoln locations now. Oh my gosh. That's 25% more Lincoln locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11th, located right alongside 93.7 The Ticket Studios, 1040 O Street.
The Omaha Supernovas are back in action this Saturday, April 20th versus the San Diego Mojo at CHI Health Center in Omaha. The Mullen Motors pregame show with Derek Pearson and Renee Saunders starts at 5 p.m. with first serve at 6. Make sure to tune in to the next Ag Appraisal and Realty postgame show right after the match ends. Catch all the action on your flagship station, 93.7 The Ticket, and statewide on the Supernovas Radio Network.
Here you go. Coffee's on me and my new BFF. I thought I was your best friend forever. BFF like best financial friend at Members Own Credit Union. Right now, they're offering $100 when you consolidate or transfer a loan or an existing credit card balance and meet requirements. Plus, you get great rates and free advice from a financial partner that will put you first. That sounds like a match made in heaven. Members Own Credit Union is the type of bestie you can count on. Get started today at memberzonecu.org/BFF. Limitations may apply. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey guys, Jake Sorensen here from Early Break. The garage door at our house has been needing replacement for a couple years, and a few months ago, we finally did something about it. Steve's Garage Doors and Services was great through the whole process in providing options and also going to the next level to get a door that was approved by our HOA. And best of all, the removal of the old door and installation of the new door was done smoothly with no issues. Call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today at 402-480-2840.
Hey, Nebraska! Register today for the 40th Annual Cornhusker State Games, taking place July 11th through the 21st in Lincoln, Omaha, and other Nebraska communities. The Cornhusker State Games features 70 sports for athletes of all ages and abilities. Price increases are approaching, so register early and save. For details, go to CornhuskerStateGames.com. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel with Gatorade, brought to you by Pepsi Cola of Lincoln, a proud partner of the Cornhusker State Games.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Power Combo BOGO? Huh?
Yes, if you purchase an air conditioner, you receive a furnace completely free. At John Henry's, our professionals want to ensure you are comfortable in your home all year long, no matter what Nebraska has to throw at us. Call today to schedule your free estimate and learn more about the free furnace waiting for you. Give John Henry's a call today.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
You never think cancer will happen to you. I smoked for over 40 years.
My doctor recommended that I get annual lung cancer screening. They were able to catch my cancer at stage 1. It's never too late to quit. Even if you're still smoking, you need to ask your doctor about annual lung cancer screening. Just 30 minutes a year could save your life.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
One final segment for hour 1 of the show. Austin Norman and Erick Strickland with you. We like taking your texts. We like your thoughts on our text line, 402-464-5685, brought to you by Sartor Heyman Jewelers. Let's just go in order here. Troy in Lincoln says, Austin, Fred needs to get the players from Duke that entered the portal. My Duke thoughts do not fit in not just the rest of this segment, but the rest of this hour. So I will spare you those for now. Just a quick overview. Okay, so Sean Stewart would take. He's essentially the 5-star recruit version of William Kyle. In a lot of ways, he ain't coming to Lincoln. Mark Mitchell just committed to Missouri. Jeremy Roach is reportedly getting, guess this number, Strick, $1.5 million from Baylor.
Oh, wow.
For Jeremy Roach.
Go get it, young fella.
Good for him. Nebraska should not do that.
And I would
even
not.
if they could.
Yeah.
Okay, so those 3 aren't coming. TJ Power would be fun, kind of a scoring wing. I think he's Eli Rice in some ways. I don't know how much defense he wanted to play. I think he's going to go get buckets somewhere. Might be the next Dalton Connect, but he's not coming to Nebraska. He's from way out east. The interesting options would be Jalen Blakes as a backup point guard, kind of following the Jordan Goldwire path. But I think Jalen Blakes, again, kind of East Coast guy, wants to stay that way, and not a consistent shooter at all. I don't know how much he fits. I think he and Sam Hoiberg would be redundant on a roster, and that just leaves Jaden Schutt, who was a 4-star, kind of in that Esigen and Hausen territory where his main skill is shooting.
Right.
You could see kind of like a Grayson Allen starter kit minus the crazy legs and attitude for Jaden Schutt. Maybe Alex O'Connell is a better comparison for him, who ended up going to Creighton from Duke, but I don't think Nebraska is going to get in the running for him. It'd be fun. It'd be neat. I just don't think any of those are going to happen. Okay, Brad from Baldwin. Why can't Nebraska get a 7-footer? Strick, I don't think it's that Nebraska can't get a 7-footer. I think it's that Nebraska can't recruit them consistently out of high school, and they're not traditional 7-foot centers. Nebraska's gone with the 6'9", 6'10" Derek Walker type and the 6'11" Rink Mass type, more so than the 7-foot back to the basket guy.
Yeah, if you just look at the style, I think Fred is very capable of switching up the style. I mean, if he had a Zach Edey style type of person, I'm sure he would be able to switch that up a little bit and do it in a different way. They're not as available as you think.
Right.
In today. I mean, they're there, but some of them are slow, frumpy, dumpy. Like, let's be honest, when Zach Edey first came in, I mean, he got very well coached because he was very, very raw, kind of half uncoordinated, really didn't have the skill set that he had when he was early on.
He moved like a baby elephant is what he moved like.
Yeah. He wasn't very good at footwork, and he worked on those things. Good to him.
Yeah.
That doesn't always work out.
No.
Because what happens is a lot of those big size kids, as they come up through the ranks, the style of basketball has changed dramatically, so they're not necessarily getting the touches. The growth, because it's such a fast-paced game, it's up and down. AAU, the guards and the forwards are trying to do their thing. They're not trying to wait and find somebody in the post and do all of that. So the game misses them some. This is why you see a lot of these guys developing a skill set so that it allows them to be able to get involved in the game with catch. This is why you're Amani Bates and your Cooper Flags. This is how they come about, because they have to go through this. To me, I think it's a busted system, but it is the lay of the day. And so big big body. Now we're talking in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
In Europe, guys that don't even freaking play, they get skills. This is why Jokic is the way he is. They get skills. Jokic would much rather be on the farm playing with horses and riding on bikes.
Just ask him.
Yeah, man. But he's skilled, and that's what they work on. This is why Wembanyama's the way he is. They don't play all these games like in the AAU circus that they do. Right. They practice. They maybe play 1-2 games a week. So it's a lot of development. It's a lot of skills. It's a lot of all that. They showcase them on 1 or 2 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
They're not playing 20 games in a weekend. Think about that.
That's a lot.
3-4 games a day on a weekend.
Who does that help?
Well, this doesn't help you. I don't know. Maybe I'm just ranting, but I think it's sad. I think it's sad for the sport. I think this is why you're seeing some dominant factors in players like Jokic, players like Doncic, players like Shea, and that's sad in itself, because if you just look at his numbers, a lot of people are pushing Shea. I think Luka's numbers are better. I mean, that's just my opinion, but that's why you're getting these guys coming out the way they are. Wembanyama's going to slay a lot of records. I mean, he's going to slay a lot of records.
Like LeBron's points record?
I don't know if he's done enough this early. Like, I think LeBron was averaging over 20-something points.
Wemby got 21 this year.
Yeah, you know what? He could, if he stayed long enough. But let's just be honest. Look at the last guys at his size. You're looking at Porzingis. You're looking at Yao Ming. You're looking at Ilgauskas. You're looking at guys with that size. They don't usually have long careers because they deal with foot issues, knee issues, some type of issue. But what I will say is I can appreciate Wembanyama because he's working in like yoga and stretching, and he's doing a lot of these extra things to keep his limbs in a good place so that he's able to deal with it. Now he's just got to develop his body so that muscles and stuff don't atrophy and get weak, and then you cause more injury problems.
Avoid foot injuries, avoid knee injuries, avoid back injuries. That's really what it's going to come down to for him. Last thing then, 3994 on the text line says, get a big man, get Chucky Hepburn, get the UNO guy, assuming you mean Frankie Fiddler. I would say don't hold your breath, and don't hold your breath. We'll see. Not saying it's out of the equation.
I mean, shoot, we flipped Dylan Raiola at the end of the day. I mean, anything's possible. A lot of people thought that was out the door. It was not possible. So, hey, you never know.
Stay tuned. And that's where you'll hear it here first, is here on The Block. Thanks for tuning in. Got another hour of the show to go. Virginia passed a new law. Is it a solution for name, image, and likeness? Stricky and I will talk about that.
We're going to talk about it.
Then some good NBA headlines, including Strick's boy Luka. Is he the next James Harden? Or how does he avoid getting that label? We'll talk about all that and more in hour 2 of On the Block.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mixed Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From Nebco's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Grandma and Grandpa, Mom and Dad, then the kids, and now the grandkids. Judson Irrigation has provided lawn sprinkler system design, installation, repair, and service to 4 generations. They're just like members of the family. Loyalty, trust, service. It's what you deserve and expect from Judson Irrigation.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, and our annual spring sales event is now underway. We have absolutely huge savings right now at Coppell. New Sierras and new Silverados have a double whammy. Choose from APRs starting at 1.9% or discounts over $9,000. Yes, that's right, 1.9% APR or discounts of over $9,000. So please take that short money-saving drive down 144th Street just south of the interstate, or check us out online at CoppelCars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with approved credit.
Community means something different to everyone. But for me, it means cheering on those around you during the good times and helping them out during the tough times. I'm softball player Jordy Ball, and I've been blessed with the support of my friends, family, coaches, and community throughout my life. When looking for a bank to call home, it was easy to choose Midwest Bank. I never feel like just another customer, and they're proud to support their communities. They love what they do, and it shows. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank.
At Doane University, we build leaders, and that means your success and achievements come first.
At Doane University, your future is uniquely yours, and our world-class liberal arts education is just the beginning.
We invite you to schedule your campus visit and experience why Doane University will start you on your journey to your future career.
Learn more by scheduling your personal campus visit today at doane.edu/visit. See you soon.
Lincoln, you wanted more sweet and spice in your life, and now you've got it. At Wings and Rings, their brand new hot honey has all of Lincoln buzzing. Try their one-of-a-kind house-made sauce on the brand new hot honey chicken sandwich or their hot honey shrimp and slaw. And of course, you can get it on the traditional, boneless, or smoked wings that have made Wings and Rings your go-to neighborhood spot. Hot honey was supposed to be gone on April 1st, but they're extending it indefinitely. So stop by Wings and Rings at one of their 2 Lincoln locations today, on O Street and on Village Lane.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
The Double the Savings sales event is happening now through April 22nd at Bonsall Pool and Spa. During this event, buyers can take advantage of up to $1,500 in savings and receive 0% APR for 60 months. Visit the Bonsall Pool and Spa showroom at 33rd and Pioneers or visit their website at bonsallpool.com to learn more about their hot tub sale. Act fast because this offer ends soon. Bonsall Pool and Spa, every day made better.
Spring often marks the beginning of severe weather, which can lead to power outages. LES wants you to be prepared before the storm. Restock your emergency kit, update your info with LES, and if you encounter an outage, report it at les.com/report.
This is On the Block with Strickland Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland.
Strickland for 3. And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Presented by NIPCO. This is On the Block with Strickland Austin.
Welcome back, hour 2 of the show. Austin Norman and Erick Strickland with you for another hour before we are on to our weekends. Any big plans, Stricky? Chill weekend for the man.
Pretty chill weekend. Not much to it.
Good.
I would go to the game, but I told my boy I was going to come watch this big Ryan Garcia fight and Devin Haney.
Now, Stricky, which game are you talking about?
I was going to go to the Supernovas game.
How about that? They're back in town.
Yeah.
Catch them on Saturday.
I was literally going to go, but then, I probably still could go, but then you got to deal with traffic and getting in and out
Parking.
of there. And he lives in Papillion.
And all the autographs you have to sign and the photo ops.
Well, the game, but the fight doesn't usually start till, you're getting into like 10 o'clock anyway. So
right.
I might be able to make it work. I don't know. I might do a double dip.
We'll have to see. If you can't make it out to the Supernovas, don't worry. There's racing tonight and tomorrow at Eagle Raceway, Friday, April 19th and Saturday, April 20th. The Icebreaker Challenge special event at Eagle Raceway. Mod Mania, both days feature Nebraska Lottery Modifieds and Avid Realty Sport Mods. Tonight features late models and A1 iron stock cars. Saturday will feature Valentino's hobby stocks and Nebraska Septic sprint cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. For more info, visit eagleraceway.com. First two people on the text line, 402-464-5685, that want to go to racing either tonight or tomorrow, just give us your name. If you're able to swing by the station tonight or tomorrow, you can get 2 free passes out to Eagle Raceway for the first 2 people in on the text line. Thanks to Starter Heyman for sponsoring that. Thanks to Nebco for sponsoring our show. Really appreciate them. Check them out at nebcoinc.com if you're looking to start your new career today. All right, Strick, let's get into this. Out of the state of Virginia, we've talked a lot of name.
Real quick.
Yes, what
Can
you got?
Stop real quick? Because I love where
Only
you're
if
going.
you say pause.
I pause.
Okay.
Shout out to Kent Pavelka. Kent Pavelka, longtime Husker voice. It's his birthday today.
Happy birthday,
Happy
KP.
birthday, Kent. I'm glad to know that you're celebrating another year. You still look as young as you did when we were playing. So shout out to you. Kent Pavelka.
Do you ever go diving into Pavelka on Radio Row?
Yeah, I go holler at him a little bit.
No, like dive into him after a loose ball.
Oh, no. I probably did. I probably flew over there a couple times.
Well,
but-
KP's still walking, so you must not have hit him too
No, I
hard.
didn't hit him too bad.
That's funny. Brad, swing by, pick up your Eagle Raceway passes. Okay, Virginia passed some new state legislation yesterday morning. Here's just a couple paragraphs from ESPN on it, and then we'll get into the discussion. Schools in Virginia will be able to directly pay athletes via name, image, and likeness deals thanks to a state law signed Thursday morning, marking another significant step in the professionalization of college sports. The new law, which is scheduled to take effect July 1, is the first in any state to make it illegal for the NCAA to punish a school for compensating athletes for the NIL rights. Current NCAA rules prohibit schools from signing NIL deals with their own players. Here's this then, Strick. The law could either give Virginia schools a significant recruiting advantage or provide a catalyst for similar changes elsewhere. What do you think?
Well, I think you're laying down and at least establishing some form of a precedent out there, a model potentially. I actually like it. Now, I like it because here's why. What we've been seeing just over the last few years is we've actually been seeing coaches get into trouble. Not that coaches are doing that. There are some shady business going on out there, but not that in a couple of instances that I've witnessed, and I can't remember the exact school. You might be able to help me in Sutter Heyman text line if you recall, but I'm going to give you the scenario so that it may bring up or spark in the memory. There was a coach, for example, that was doing a tour with a player on campus. He was doing a tour, and all the player did, or the coach did, was drop the player off at a collective for a meeting with those, because this is part of the deal. Yes, we can't do anything, but I'm just taking the young man because he doesn't have transportation, or he's going to be paying for his own Uber. I mean, am I just supposed to be a jerk about it? I mean, he's here on our visit. There's a collective that wants to meet with him. I'm going to drop him off so that they have a meeting. And he got in trouble. I think he lost his job. I mean, so this is multiple cases that stuff like this has happened. And I think if you internalize it and you bring it in-house, now it allows you to have what? You're able to dictate how much. You're able to budget for it. You're able to you're then also able to market, and you can negotiate, put it in contract, because it's under your purview now. You can monitor shady business and all the stuff, and whether it happens or it doesn't, and if it's your word. Now, if I'm a player and you don't do it, I don't have to worry about it being a collective. I can go directly and deal with you because this is part of what we negotiated in construct. So now I can contract it. So in the contract, I can say, okay, yeah, we're going to give you memorabilia. We're going to give you promotion. We're going to give you internal promotions for, the university. But on memorabilia, You're going to make 70, we're going to make 30, or 60-40. Or we're going to promo, we take that cost, and then you can at least negotiate that. So now that the jerseys are sold, at least you're getting something for it.
Right.
Right? So it takes these collectives, it takes out the middleman. There's a lot of things I think it can be a benefit to, and I actually am okay with them taking the reins by the bootstraps and whatever you call it, and you grab it by the reins and rein that stuff in and keep it in-house.
To me, this is much closer to what I thought name, image, and likeness was going to be, right?
Yeah.
Think about, the EA Sports deal, right? Players just want to get paid for their name, image, and likeness. And it was, well, the schools use these players all the time, all over the place on their promotions. The players don't get a cut of it. That's what this is, essentially. So here's another paragraph then from the ESPN article. The law explicitly states that athletes should not be considered employees of their school. Schools in Virginia are still not allowed to pay athletes for their performance in a sport, but starting this summer, they will be able to use university or athletic department funds to pay athletes for appearing in marketing campaigns.
So now I can raise now the price for the boosters.
Oh, yes.
Oh, you want to get involved? You want to do it? Okay, yeah. Come on. Talk to me. Yeah, I need that. So you in essence become not the collective. Instead of the money running out, or you're running out and you're having to kowtow, bow down, kiss the ring of the collective or whatever, and have all type. Now you get to keep that in house. You get to do that, and they got to come to you.
Yeah.
Come see me. You've already been doing it. Just now, let's keep this thing still rolling, but we're just going to do it in a different way. We're going to in-house it.
Right. And
I think it gives you more power.
Yeah, and I don't think the players have to be employees.
No.
Under that, system, because here's
marketing budget.
That part, right? The student athletes essentially just become a line item, right?
That's
yes,
good.
It's moving more and more toward, contracts or employees or whatever. But if you're simply using the name, image, and likeness, and maybe an appearance here or there for marketing purposes, it goes under the marketing budget. And guess what? You can have a sponsor say, hey, we'll give you this much, but if you can get athletes X, Y, and Z to participate in this campaign and be our spokesman for it in your promotions, we'll give you this much more
towards
money,
your marketing budget.
Towards the marketing budget, which then goes to what you negotiated with the student athletes. It's not equal. Not every student athlete would get some of that, but that's okay for right now, right? Because I think this is a more under control system where the universities have control. They can pick and choose the student athletes that they want to represent them. They can see which student athletes, are popular in the moment.
Yep.
And take advantage of them there. And
i.e. who we just talked about.
K-Say. Right.
That and down at LSU. What's her name?
Oh, like Angel Reese?
No. Gymnastics.
Oh, Livy. Yeah,
Livy Dunn.
Livy Dunn, right.
Just think about that.
Right.
like a type of.
Yes.
A Caitlin
Clark.
Type
Juju.
Bro, you make killer.
Right.
And it's in, go ahead.
And it's down. It's not even just like the big in-stadium advertisements or videos.
Yeah.
It's as simple as, hey, we want to use your, media day picture on the front of our program. Those sell for $5 a pop. Here, we'll give you, 50 cents. We'll give you $1 from every program sold that has your face on it. Or if you have like 3 or 4 athletes on it, okay, we'll give you 25 cents per program sold at the end of the year. Do that for every program, every athletic program on the team, right? There's a simple way that you can pay them a little bit.
Yeah.
It's name, image, and likeness. They get paid, but it's not big. It's not out of control. It's not going to be a lot, but you're choosing to feature them, so they should get rewarded for being, a model student athlete.
And it's negotiable. It's depending on your. It's not just I'm giving you $9 million like Nico
Yamaleva. Yeah.
Really, I get to assess what your marketability is. I mean, we can negotiate up front. We can even negotiate increases. At least you have contractual agreements to where you can write up the marketing agreement as opposed. And this to me, listeners, is probably as close as you can get to putting the tube back in the toothpaste. I think. There's really no way to do it. It's the Wild Wild West. You already have the Wild Wild West. There's gunslingers everywhere, and it's in cash money, and everything's being slang everywhere out there in the space anyway. This is, I think, as close as you can get to kind of allowing yourself to get in on it, be a part of it, have some form of control of it, and still be able to engage in a different and better way to me than the way that it's already set up.
I think the university gets more out of it that way. And I think it's less of a strain on the student athletes, right? Because we hear these stories of student athletes signing these deals with these companies, and they have to do something. Well, just making a social media post isn't much. At least it's something. But student athletes just wasting away in an office with nothing to do just because they're there because they have to act like they're doing something to get their money. Let's say, just for example, just throwing this out there, I know Akers is a friend of the Ticket, advertised with us. Let's say Akers, for example, says, we want Dylan Raiola, to be the face of our advertising campaign. Here's how much we're willing to give him or give you for this. It's up to you to give him however much of that you want. Well, instead of Dylan Raiola, going out to Akers, maybe do an appearance or two for him at an event, he can, guess what? Do the photo shoot. He can pose. He can model. They can use those pictures, use those videos on everything they send out, and he's done. Right?
Yeah.
I doubt Dylan Raiola is going to want to get into that field, but what do I know? Maybe it is. But if it's not his field, but he's just being marketed as, a student athlete, it makes more sense for him to be able to do the photo shoot, do the social media posts, do an appearance or two, and be done. So I think it gives student athletes more control of their time. I think it helps them maybe better align with what they want to do, because they should still have the ability to turn things down, right? Because that's the other part of this we don't talk a lot about, Strick, is we assume that every student athlete would jump at the chance to do this. There are some who might be shy, who might say, hey, I'm not comfortable with all this. They can say no as well. Even if it doesn't seem like a big deal, they can say, no, I'm good, give to someone else. And then that's back to the university and the sponsor to negotiate it.
Yeah. I mean, I really do, man. I'm personally think this is a good. It's still the beginning stages of a blueprint that's being laid out. We still don't know what the full outcome is going to be, how they're going to work it out, how it would be negotiated, who would do the negotiating. Is this a separate thing? Do you need to hire more staff within the marketing department to handle this specific item?
Right.
Because you still have other aspects of the marketing to be done for the university, for other things. And you don't want to take away from that part of it and maybe, or even add more burden. Because, I mean, this could be a heavy load. So what type of individuals would you want in there? Would they be like more sports agency types? Would you, you see what I'm saying? Like, you may want to bring them in. Do you outsource them? I mean, there's all types of things that you got to be considerate of when you're thinking about this.
Let's say you're an athletic director. Would you rather deal with agents for your players, or would you rather deal with people you hired in your own departments who get these deals lined up?
See, but that's the thing. Like, this is such a new phenomenon. Yes, just think about it. They haven't done it this way.
No.
NIL is like a part of marketing, but it's not fully.
Okay.
It's like a piece of agent work, but it's not. It's like a touch of about three or four things. So I think that the more well-rounded somebody is in dealing with this, and this is what I think sports agencies do. They have multiple departments within their departments that handle certain things, right? There's certain people that handle contracts. There's certain people that handle marketing. There's certain people that handle foundations. There's just different aspects to. So to me, somebody more that has, and if I was a consultant or if I had a marketing agency business, I would be looking at Virginia and how can I get. But then what's going to be scary is how do you keep them out and separate, because you can't be aligned with a sports agency. So there's all types of craziness. But what you can do is people out of your department maybe infiltrate, and they're not associated with the sports agency, but have connection to them. So you're back into the runner type of situation that you used to have, where you didn't have the agents, you had these runners that would go out, make relationships with the parents, and make. So I don't know, man. It could be tricky. It's a tricky little form, but that's kind of where my head goes.
Here's another paragraph from that ESPN article. Virginia Tech is considering a number of methods for how it might deploy school funds in the future. Options could include contracting with third parties, such as a marketing agency or a booster collective to pay the athletes instead of cutting a check directly from the athletic department. Here's where I think that's almost unnecessary. Unnecessary, because what if, hypothetically, the university absorbs the collective and the collective becomes that NIL arm?
Facts.
Just
why not
absorb the collective, and then just guess what? You can give all the money as a booster to one place. You can earmark 40% of it to go to general fund. You can earmark 60% of it to go to NIL marketing, whatever. I think it's going to be much easier to earmark a check and say where you want the money to go, rather than have to figure out how you want to divide your money. Who do I send it to? Get confusing, feel weird about giving to a collective because it's still pretty new as opposed to the school I've always given to. So for me,
I think there's more accountability internally with the school than it is with the collective, to be honest.
Yes.
I think you can do a little more checks and balance, I think.
Yes.
Just my thought. Well, go ahead.
Cut out as many middlemen as you can, right? Leave as little room for confusion as possible. Just absorb the collective, make them one and the same, and make that collective its own wing that handles all of that. Now it's just under university purview.
Pause. Now let's add a little bit more different. In the athletic department, since it's not connected, you're going to want somebody to oversee that. So does the athletic director add another type of vice president under the athletic program to oversee it, to run it, to be a bridge gap? So he does, because you don't want him, you don't want coaches.
No.
So you're probably, listen, you can add jobs. I think it's another way to add more jobs, take away more responsibility. So a lot of these athletic directors, a lot of these coaches are not over inundated with a whole bunch of, I personally would want somebody that's trustworthy under the university to take upon the collective, as opposed to hiring somebody out of the collective into the university so that there's oversight. You hear what I'm saying?
I do.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. That's just another check and balance.
Yeah. Although I wonder if we would see the shortcut taken of whoever is the head of this collective is just given that associate AD title.
See that? I mean, yeah.
I think that's the shortcut they would take, but I understand the hesitancy.
I mean, some will be lazy, and probably some may get the bullet bitten out of them.
Right.
But if you want to protect yourself, I would advise you, get somebody some form who has auditory, skills to be able to audit. You know what I mean? To be able to look into
not listening skills.
Not necessarily, somebody who has the ability to be able to look at stuff and kind of make sure that there ain't no funny business going on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. Just thought there's a lot to it. Yeah. It's a lot to it.
Couple things from the text line. Thunderknot Collins. I would really like to see a cap on NIL money for school. If we're going to treat college players like pros, then we need a cap like the pros. Well, guess what? What if it's the Major League Baseball salary cap? Oh, wait, there isn't one. So not all pro sports have one. And also, I don't want to cap schools on the amount of NIL money they have just because they're better at raising money. In this market, in this society, if you can raise more money, if your product is that appealing to potential sponsors and clients, go make your money. Have more money to give to the student athletes. That, to me, I think is the whole point. Because if you're going to put a cap on NIL money that you can spread across either a program or an athletic department, to me, Strick, it's just going to leave so much room for creativity to hide money, right? Oh, this is the signing bonus that we're giving them, but here's the actual contract, right? We see that in pro sports all the time.
Yeah, because then you would have to take a model.
Yeah.
You would have to say, we're going to use the NBA model, or we're going to use the NFL model, or you would have to pick a model, because just leaving it as a free-for-all, you're right. They're going to find ways to circumvent it, so forth and so on. Do you have penalties in the overage? I personally think, which I think they won't do, but I personally think you should have some form of an entry level. If you were a top 50 recruit, then you're within this range as far as entry into school. If you're a top 100 something recruit, then you go to another range, 150 to another range. If you're a 2-star, then you may get 20. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think that's entry. Now, after you've shown and proved, now we can talk. We can renegotiate. You know, so I think there should be, because some of these entry level amount, oh my gosh, it's blowing my mind. It makes me half sick thinking of what, you know, because there's no return. There's no guarantee on return on investment.
No.
I mean, I can give you many stories of when guys have come and gone before they even get a chance to see the field. They've left, or they didn't play, or there should be some clauses to me, injury clauses. Yeah, we'll still pay you, but you don't get full payment. You know, as far as, unless you're doing something for that, like if you have, like you said, marketing stuff that you're doing or different things, yeah, you still should be able to get what you're doing. But like Dakotas Crawford, let's be honest, he hit a nice lick.
He did.
I'm not mad at him. No. I think the name was a good lick in itself. That was
right.
I want to use your name. I think but you got there's no return on that. You never saw the field.
No. Well, we saw the field, just didn't
play.
Kidding.
Yeah, there you go.
Couple final things before we throw it to break and move on. 0603 will tie in with Cheeseburger. So 0603 says, if it's a public university, they will have to tell us how much each athlete is getting paid. Cheeseburger says, this isn't NIL money, it's salary for players. Not necessarily, because I think you can just write it under, again, just that line item, right? Like how much you break it down. Sure, maybe you have to say we paid Bryce Williams, $10,000 to appear on this. But I also think it's different if that money is, again, earmarked by the sponsor and then sent in, right? It depends on who they agree to the contract with. But I also think, Strick, there needs to be a difference, because if all you're doing is a photo shoot to go on, a program, to use that example,
yeah,
or even like, what about the intro video for Nebraska basketball or Nebraska football? Like, a lot of players feature in that. Is that marketing? Is that name, image, and likeness? Or is that just part of the deal? I don't think just being there for a photo shoot and having your name slapped on a program necessarily makes you employment status. To me, that's a perk of, hey, I'm an athlete. They want to use me on this program. And that doesn't strike me as full employment. That just strikes me as, hey, this is what programs do. Now I just get a little bit of money for it.
I don't think that makes you an employee.
Right.
So I think that's what I'm saying. There's so much nuance to this stuff. And that's why I don't know. I think the more simplified you can make it, like what Virginia is maybe trying to do, I think the more simplified you can make it, the better off you are. I think it's I think there's still too many hands in the kitchen right now. That's kind of making it still confusing. That's making it difficult. It's making it hard to manage, and it's still so much to it. Like in a kitchen, right? You know, if you had 4 chefs in the kitchen, you're gonna get one chef's gonna want more salt and spice. The other is gonna want more meat, and one's gonna want a little bit of sweetness to it, and another. So you're gonna have all this you're gonna get a hodgepodge of mess. This is why in a kitchen you have a chef, you have a sous chef, because the sous chef basically makes sure that those underneath the chefery, that's a word I just made up, is doing what he wants done. And then the chef ultimately changes, because guess whose name is on it?
Chef's name.
But, you know, they know what they're supposed to do, how much they're supposed to put in. If it's a pinch, it's a pinch. It ain't a freaking tablespoon. You know what I'm saying? So it's got to be the more simplified, the better the meal is going to come out.
Yeah.
As opposed to, because you can go to restaurants nowadays, right? And from one week to the next, it tastes different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sometimes the steak is cooked different. You know, some's got a little pink to it. Some's got that gray to it. You know, it's like, wait, chef, last week I was here, I said medium plus. I just wanted a little. So that's what I'm saying. More simplified, the less chefs in the kitchen, I think the easier you can make this process.
It's a big topic. There's still a lot to talk about. Thunderknock Collins, Insightful Dude, Jeremy and Lincoln, Dave and Fullerton, Cheeseburger. Real appreciate you guys chiming in. Wade on the YouTube stream, appreciate your thoughts as well. Thanks for listening. There are our streams, and our text line are brought to you by Starter Heyman Jewelers. Big thanks to them for all they do for us here. We'll take a break. Be back with more on the block in just a sec.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now, through April 14th, enjoy USDA Choice Flat Iron Steaks for $9.99 per pound. All natural, boneless, skinless chicken breasts for $2.98 per pound. Duroc Pork Tenderloin for $3.99 per pound. And 4-ounce lobster tails for $6.99 each. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Here you go. Coffee's on me and my new BFF. I thought I was your best friend forever. BFF like best financial friend at Members Own Credit Union. Right now, they're offering $100 when you consolidate or transfer a loan or an existing credit card balance and meet requirements. Plus, you get great rates and free advice from a financial partner that will put you first. That sounds like a match made in heaven. Members Own Credit Union is the type of bestie you can count on. Get started today at memberzonecu.org/BFF. Limitations may apply. Equal housing opportunity.
Tune in every Wednesday night from 9 to 10 p.m. for the Malone Radio Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Don't miss the opportunity to learn about the Malone Community Center's goal to eliminate multi-generational poverty in Lincoln and the surrounding area. It's the Malone Radio Show with Executive Director John Goodwin and Sports Director Mike Hunter every Wednesday night from 9 to 10 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Ironhide Construction is hiring. They're looking for hardworking, self-motivated individuals who are team players. Ironhide Construction has openings for an experienced project manager, estimator, apprentice, skilled laborer, and erector or installer. They will train the right people and make sure you understand the position and requirements. At Ironhide Construction, it's own it, be honest, and do it right. Apply today and learn more about their other benefits at ironhideconstruction.com. where they're committed to you every step of the way.
This is Coach Bill Bush. You all know my passion for Nebraska. Having coached all over the country, I can honestly say there is no place like Nebraska. You know where there's also no place like? Midwest Bank. Midwest Bank has proudly served Nebraska for over 70 years, and they're located in 9 different communities. Midwest Bank is ready, willing, and able to meet all your personal, business, and agriculture needs. Your community, your bank, and mine, Midwest Bank. Find out more at Midwest Bank. Member FDIC.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old-fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Banking should feel personal, not intimidating. At Western National Bank, we're about real connections. Founded by 2 ordinary guys with an extraordinary vision to know each and every customer personally. Fees, they suck. Avoid all fees with Western National Bank's Compass checking account. No monthly fees, no minimum balances, and get this, 5.12 APY on the first $1,000. Open your Compass checking account online in 5 minutes or less at mywnb.com. Experience the difference with Western National Bank. Visit mywnb.com. Member FDIC.
Hi, this is State Senator Carolyn Bozin. As a state senator, wife, and mom, I believe Lincoln is a great place to work and raise a family. My husband Reggie and I are local family business owners and actively involved in our community. Last year, I voted for the largest property tax relief package in Nebraska history. Property tax relief is important to every family, and I will continue to deliver more property tax relief to working families. This is Carolyn Bozin, and I am asking for your vote on May 14th. Paid for by Bozin for Legislature.
Drinking and driving causes serious harm to friends, family members, and loved ones. In 2021, 65 people were killed in Nebraska by a car crash involving a drunk driver. Do not drink and drive. By drinking less, you can still be here for your loved ones. If you or loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back here on the block. Thanks again to everyone who chimed in on our NIL discussion. Interesting stuff out of the state of Virginia. We'll definitely keep monitoring that and see what happens here in the 402 and the 308, I suppose. Austin Norman, Erick Strickland with you. Let's talk some NBA now, Stricky. Let's start with your boy, Luka Doncic. Probably not going to win the MVP this year, despite averaging darn near triple-double, mid-30s points, almost 10 rebounds and assists. Both. We know
you're talking about Luka, right?
Luka Doncic, your boy, correct.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fantastic year for him. Still young, still even pre-athletic prime, which who knows what Luka's athletic prime will look like. Not necessarily the bounciest guy, but they're playing the Clippers in the first round. And I saw this article from CBS Sports that asked the question: is Luka Doncic at risk of becoming the next James Harden? Now, I know he's your boy. I don't want you to speak ill on him. And you got your Mavs connections. But I think it's an interesting line to draw. And I don't want it to overshadow. Let have you talk about this first. Just how good the Mavs have been recently.
Yeah. So help me to understand how that's the case. Like I get it. But the premise of that question, like in what way do you attribute the commonality to that? That's what I want to understand first, so I can hopefully answer. Like I know it's not you,
yeah,
but that's what's kind of throwing me off right now because, where do you get that from? Because to me, Luka's not just a stat patter,
right?
He's not just chasing like when he had to. He was there by himself last year. By himself, took the team against the Clippers in a series to 7.
Yeah,
with alone.
Mm-hmm.
He had to. Like if he didn't, there's no chance.
Think about that Sun series. He smiled up at Booker at the free throw line.
Yeah,
he's done it before.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with his style. I don't have a problem with his game. I think he just needed I think that's one thing they figured out is how to play together.
Mm-hmm. Him and Kyrie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think they just needed it's tough to thrust someone into a system that both have alpha, types of games. Play in a style where they're both aggressive. Mm-hmm. And then you had injuries, so you're not really getting it until you have to just kind of get it thrown on you in the late part of the season. It just doesn't work. It doesn't seem to work, but you get a whole you get a whole off season, you get a whole training camp. And now Jason Kidd's kind of got a chance to see which combinations of players. And I think they've done a good job in Dallas of adding players like PJ Washington and Daniel
Gafford.
Yeah, Gafford. Guys like that, man, to the squad. I think they're better than off as a total. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm trying to figure out that premise. To me, it's like James Harden never really wanted a Kyrie type. He wanted to consistently be that.
Even though he had Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook with him, neither one of those guys at that point were as good as Kyrie Irving has been right now.
No. They were on their down. Now listen, Russell Westbrook has done some things. Even with the Clippers now, he's been pretty effective in the role that he's been given.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Paul, it's been a long time since he's been the same.
Right.
It's been a while. Not at Phoenix, I don't think. I don't think he was there. Probably since the Clippers.
Yeah.
This is probably the last time you've really seen the full abilities of Chris Paul. Now, so yeah, I don't know. I can't see how we got to that thought process.
Here's some numbers and just some thoughts for you from this article. Okay, so since the All-Star break, the Mavericks have the 7th best offensive rating in basketball. That's good. That's top 75th percentile, and it makes sense, right? With Kyrie and Luka in the fold. Of course, my boy Derek Lively as the lob threat. I was going to shout him out when I get the chance. But you mentioned Daniel Gafford, Strick. Since he entered the starting lineup, Dallas has the best defensive rating in the NBA. Only 18th on the year, but over the last 20 or so games, they're only behind the Boston Celtics for the best record in the NBA.
Timing's perfect. Timing's perfect for the matchup that they're going to have against the Clippers. They wouldn't have to see.
Mm-hmm.
The matchup to me is way better for Dallas if they pull the first series off against OKC. Their matchup's a little bit tougher to me if they have to face Denver.
Yeah. Denver can throw Aaron Gordon at him. Oklahoma City doesn't really have anyone Luka's size.
Right. Wade says, he says something just since we just briefly talked about Nuggets. He says on the stream, the YouTube stream, he says, I know you guys don't like the Nuggets. Didn't say that. But I'm curious what Strick thinks about MPJ's family stuff this week and how it will impact. Look, if you're a professional, you understand that stuff outside the court, outside in life. They touch you, but this is that part that I talked about, that there's a difference that people may attribute to me off the court than when I'm on. When you're on as a professional, when you're a player, or when you're an actor, or when you're a dancer, you all go through life. You deal with situations, you deal with the irregularities of relationships, the regulars of relationships, you deal with the irregulars of just body adjustment, sickness, health, all these different things you deal with on the outside. But when you get on stage, none of that should come with you. You should leave all of that on the outside. And the stage is no different in sports realm. The stage is the field. The stage is the court. The stage is the arena. The stage, wherever it is, that's the stage. That's where you go to perform, put in your work. You know what I'm saying? So I would hope that it doesn't affect. I mean, I could just say one of the better people that I saw handle this was Isaiah Thomas when he dealt with the death of his sister, I believe.
Yeah.
And went out and performed at a super high level and led his team,
to the Eastern Conference Finals.
So yeah, so that's the way I see it. So I would hope that would not be the case.
I think he's in a good organization too. I think
good support.
Malone is going to be a resource for him. I think Murray can be a resource for him as well. We know Jokic's attitude towards basketball. Even like Aaron Gordon, who's been around the block and seen some things. So yeah, there's a lot going on in that young man's life. And you hope that he has enough time, enough space to figure all that out. But also, Strick, you don't want the weight of the world placed on him, right? So I think he's in a maybe not the best, maybe one of the best organizations that knows him, right? He hasn't traded teams, right? He's been with the Nuggets his whole career. They took the chance on him. They're clearly invested in this young man. They know what's going on in his life. So I think that support system is really going to be a big part of how he handles this. And I don't think they'll let him I don't want to say distracted, right? Because family comes first. This obviously means a lot, but they'll help him compartmentalize. When it's time to put on the show, I don't doubt that the organization is going to do the best it can to make sure he's ready.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're a professional organization. They're well ran. They do probably take a family approach and atmosphere from the top down. I think you can see that in the way that they handle things. There'll be support there. I mean, because there'll be understanding, there'll be empathy. So I believe that.
How about this? Let's make our final play-in picks with Jay Foreman in the crossover. Kings, Pelicans, and Heat, Bulls will make our picks for the weekend and wrap up on the block here next. Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
Buckle up and hang on. This is going to be a good one.
The fans of Kansas Speedway know how to have a good time. One that celebrates fantastic finishes and family-friendly facilities. Trading paint.
We got feuding
and tailgating tradition. Burnouts, beer, and barbecue. Oh, it'll for sure be a good time, and you are all invited. NASCAR weekend at Kansas Speedway, May 4th and 5th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
Made the most significant investment in education in Nebraska history and worked to reduce the cost of healthcare. I'm Senator Bo Ballard, and I humbly ask for your vote on May 14th. Paid for by Ballard for Nebraska.
Whether you're looking for a place to stay for a concert at PBA, a Nebraska home game, or just a night on the town, the Courtyard Lincoln Downtown Haymarket is the place for you. Enjoy an evening at one of many restaurants or bars within a short walking distance. Business travelers at the hotel will enjoy free high-speed internet access, a 24-hour business center, and large in-room workstations. And check out the bistro, where you'll enjoy healthier food and beverage options, as well as high-tech conveniences. Book your room today at the Courtyard Lincoln Downtown Haymarket.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Spring often marks the beginning of severe weather, which can lead to power outages. LES wants you to be prepared before the storm. Restock your emergency kit, update your info with LES, and if you encounter an outage, report it at les.com/report.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Nutrition Authority invites you to save 35 to 75% off at the Spring Mega Sale. We're taking our better than internet prices and cutting them even deeper, bringing you the biggest sale of the season. Monday, April 15th through Saturday, April 20th, the Spring Mega Sale is on at Nutrition Authority. For location information, check us out at mynutritionauthority.com.
For over 15 years, Integrated Life Choices has empowered individuals with disabilities in Lincoln and throughout Nebraska. They provide comprehensive services from group homes and independent living services to job training, ensuring fulfilling lives for those that they serve. Now, they're inviting you to join their mission. If you're passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with developmental disabilities, explore rewarding career opportunities with them. Learn more about their services and apply today at www.ilc.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Here we go. We're wrapping up On the Block with the crossover. Jay Foreman in the house. Jay, welcome in.
What's happening?
We walked into a peaceful work environment today. We've had a good day.
Yeah.
Oh, I appreciate that on Friday.
Yeah, no problems, no issues. Thirsty Thursday, we made it.
Did you get your strict pick? Did you go get your strict pick?
I'm going right after as soon as I
Okay.
leave. That's why I'm trying to get the
Well,
let's straight to Kevin Myers, cork and bottom.
13th South.
Yeah.
13th and South, excuse me.
Appreciate Kevin.
Yeah.
Let's stick in the NBA. Let's make our play-in picks. How about that? The last two playoff spots up for grabs tonight. Let's start in the Eastern Conference.
Chicago
Bulls
goes down.
And Heat. Even with Jimmy Butler out, even with the MCL strain,
I think Chicago's down. I think losing, the great Caruso, not being able to play. You know what though? I like Kobe White.
42.
I
Career
actually
high.
like him.
I like DeRozan too.
You know what?
I think this is DeRozan.
I might have to roll.
Chicago on the road?
I might have to roll Chicago. No Jimmy Beasley?
No G Beasley.
And Pat Riley retiring after the season.
Oh, I missed that.
Oh yeah.
Dang.
But they're gonna give it all for him then.
They're gonna send you right out there. You going fishing. He got a nice boat. You go ahead, go get hey, you get some mahi.
I might roll Chicago.
Yeah, mahi out there biting. Get you a triggerfish too. That's good eating.
I think I might roll Chicago.
Jay?
I'm gonna go the Heat reluctantly. I think this is a Tyler Hero Bam game. I think one of them is gonna have a huge game, but they down bad without Jimmy.
Yeah, I don't think they got the depth without Jimmy.
Yeah, man. But I'm
Duncan Robinson show up tonight?
He better.
They need him to.
Man, he looked like a librarian, boy.
You're a Michigan boy.
Yeah. He check your
D3
key card.
Michigan boy.
Yeah, he take your check your library card. How you doing? I'm Duncan. I'm Mr. Robinson.
Next.
Okay, we got the Kings on the road at the Pelicans. We mentioned Jimmy Butler being out for the Heat.
No.
Zion Williamson out for the Pels.
Kings.
And
Much Sabonis and my boy left-handed
Fox. And the problem also is what you saw in the cameras panned to it. They had Brandon Ingram on the bench. He was checked out like in the middle of the third quarter.
Yeah.
Where I'm gonna tell you, man. If Brandon Ingram gets up out of there and he gets in the right, I wish he would go back to LA because I think he's more mature now.
Lakers fanboy.
No, I think he was the star there, but he was so young and the team was just
terrible.
I'm telling you, man, that dude can play. But down there, he ready to get up out of there.
Yeah, he's checked out.
And now they're going to try to say, okay, well, we jam you, we disrespect you, 2 days ago. Now you got
now we need you.
Now we need you. That they done it, and they did that
multiple times.
Yeah,
that is the worst feeling, but
you got to be ready.
But if you're a professional, you got to be ready. You just got to stick it up, and take it. It's just like your supervisor. You come into work, it doesn't matter. It's just like your supervisor, your vice president. You come in, and you're the one that has the knowledge in this specific area. Somebody steals your thunder. And they sit you down and don't let you say a word in the meeting. And then all of a sudden, another meeting comes up. This person blew it. And now all of a sudden, they call it on you to, man, you looking over there like, I want to just let you fall flat on your face. Like you really want people to fall on their face, but you got to be professional about it. Do your job.
One thing about opportunities, though, generally is it's usually presented in these type of situations to the MNFers that don't deserve it, that don't do it.
Oh man,
that you see that a lot in the pros. Like, man, I'll just do. Then they come right back to you. But you always got to be ready, man. And it's the thing is that what athletes need to understand, and it's hard when you're a professional because you're making so much money, is people don't understand the difference between winning or being a winner and a champion. And there's a distinct difference because you can have a bad attitude and win and be a winner because you gotta, your coach, you see a lot of times in basketball, you're just so, like these AAU teams, you're just an all-star team. So you could win some games, but you'll never be a champion.
Yeah.
Because a champion, they don't complain. They're just fixated on doing whatever needs to be done, how big or how small to win more, not just a game, win all the games, win the off season, win the spring and summer season, win the fall season, win the high schools, whatever it is. That's the championship mentality because they're going to consistently show up. And that's what, Strick's talking about, where Brandon Ingram has got to have a championship mentality without a championship organization. And that's the hardest thing to have. Now, it's the flip side, though. You can having a championship mentality with an organization that's not a championship like organization Strick could tell you, the professional level, that might be the most, like when you were in Vancouver.
Oh,
that I'm telling you, if you ever and I want to ask you this, Strick. Sometimes those are the longest drives in the work. Not that you're not going to show up and do your thing. You like,
boy,
right?
It's miserable, bro.
Showing up at an arena knowing you already down 12 points.
It's miserable.
Just on lack of coaching, continuity, talent, or whatever. You down, in your case, what is it, 12 points? I always say that in the NBA, in the NFL, when sometimes we showed up in Houston, we down 10.
Off top.
We spotted you 10. But we're going to turn the ball over, not get a first down. You're going to have a plethora of sacks, especially that first year. That first year when they gave up 82 sacks, it was like punt team. After second down, you get your last little swig of Gatorade or water, put your helmet on, punt team, get ready. I was just hoping they get one first down so we could get a sky punt. So they ain't return. You know what I'm saying? So they ain't return. I'm being straight up because me and another former team, Jeff Posey, I played the punt team. I think I was the guard and he was the tackle. So Jeff was funny because he's from Mississippi. So he talked real slow. He's like, man, they got one first down. They get a couple more yards. It's a sky punt. And our Chad Stanley was our punter. He didn't have a strong leg to kick it like far, but he kicked that bad boy through the moon.
Right.
So, we get out there. It was a rough year, man. It's hard to do some stuff like that. That's what Brandon Ingram's facing right now.
Can I call my shot and say CJ McCollum legacy game? We forget about CJ McCollum.
This is the game he strives in. Like, you don't think he's going to do something, then next thing you know, dang, he hit us for 39.
Man, I know. Because
he
sure
monkey guard
disappeared.
CJ?
He sure disappeared last game, bro.
He's back. He's coming.
We'll see.
Well, Strick, this. Let me ask you this.
Can we take 10 seconds for ID and then ask?
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Hey, Strick, let me ask you this about did you just see that?
Yep.
All right, let's get it started.
There we go.
Hey, Strick, let me ask you this about dangerous players in these type of situations, whether it's a playoff series, a kind of a back-to-back or something like that. A veteran player like CJ that he's been a consistent scorer. Are those guys the most dangerous? When you say you're preparing for him, knowing he's coming off a game, prideful, right? Mm-hmm. A prideful player. Is that a dangerous player that you like? All right, I know he coming tonight. Do you guys? I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because it's just like
scary.
Because I remember playing Dan Marino after he had 4 interceptions. I know he ain't giving us nothing.
Yeah, they're scary. I'm not gonna lie.
Right.
They're because you just don't know who's gonna show up and when they show up.
Yeah.
But they can show up, which it could be. It's okay. I guess a good way of saying it. It's like Texas A&M. Couldn't shoot a 3 to save their life all season, but boy, when it mattered, they freaking knocked that stuff. So that's sometimes what he's capable of.
Yeah. I mean, I would never forget. We played Green Bay one year up in Buffalo, and it was early in the season. And Brett Favre had for him a horrible game, and they were talking about his arm was dead and all this other stuff. Strict. Man, you get the stat sheet at halftime. My man, 21 and 25, like 289, 2 touchdowns, and just
3 almost interceptions.
Listen, he threw a ball so hard past my ear. I was like, dang, was that a bird? Like, because I center field turned to cover Bubba Franks.
Get some depth.
I was covering the tight end.
Okay.
Well, then as I turned to cover him, they was running Donald Driver on the skinny post. That came right back on my back of my neck.
Wow.
That's what because listen, he was focused. It wasn't no when sometimes you look down there, wasn't no joking. Right. Like how he always going, he had his thing strapped up, and every time it was time to go, he was on. And then he turned around. I said, listen, we in for I was like, we in for it. Yeah. I turned to Kenny Irvin. Another corner, T. Smitty. I said, hey, buckle up. We about to be on it today. Now, we end up winning, but I think he hit us up for like 386.
With a dead arm.
I was like, and I told Ted Couture, I said, listen, that arm wasn't dead. I said, whatever he did, we needed him last week.
Right.
Yeah, so he got right and he got busy on it. The only two dudes that ever did that, it was him and Dan Marino.
Yeah.
Still remember that, man.
Still remember.
Yeah.
Better arm, Marino or Favre?
Come on, man.
Favre had the strongest arm.
Oh, okay.
The strongest arm. The best pure passer of the football I've ever seen is Dan Marino. I don't care what nobody says. It was just
sweet.
It was magical. I mean, he'd get back and it'd be. I mean, here's the thing with Dan Marino. He had a strong arm, accuracy, and he had the perfect trajectory.
Yeah.
And then he would be talking noise too.
Dan Marino.
If you hit him like late, he gonna get hype, and then he gonna get hype if you drop passes too. He on tilt from the get go.
You got to see him.
Oh yeah, up close. It was Monday night.
Yeah,
we hadn't beat Dolphins on Monday night down there, and I don't know how many years we ended up beating, but he lit us up like a Christmas tree. It was like bingo, bing, red 7 or B7. He was just doing whatever he wanted. It was tight coverage.
Colgan J is asking for one Marino story before we get out of here.
Here's the best. Here's in Strick. You grew up and you were able to play professional baseball. Here's the best thing that ever happened to me. Well, or one of the best things that ever happened to me. It's kind of a two-pronged story. So my dad had retired, and the Miami alumni are real tight. So he's friends with Jim Kelly. This is how crazy how like things just work out. So I was 12 or 13, and so Jim Kelly had his golf tournament. So my dad was like, "Hey, I'm gonna bring you with." So he brought me out there. And, it was Jim Kelly, John Elway, Bubby Brister, Randall Cunningham. I mean, all of them, Dan Marino. And so my dad had me with. There was a couple other guys, and, he played golf, and I rode with him. And, it was first class, had a limo driver. So my dad got in one limo. So he threw me in there. So I'm in this is a true story. It's me, John Elway, Dan Marino, Jim Kelly, Bubby Brister, and me in there. And they all giving each other the business. And they all talking junk about Dan Marino because he couldn't run, right? And so I'm in the front, like I'm watching all this. Dan Marino is like, "Hey, young buck, they can say whatever they want about me not running." And he's like, "But I got this right here." And when I tell you that man, I mean, his arm that bicep was huge. He rolled over and said, "You see this right here? This is the best in the business." And they just ribbed each other, right? And it was pretty cool. So the whole weekend I got to, they did their thing at night, but until I had to go to my room, I got to hang out with these dudes. We played video games. He gave me $10, play video, keep me entertained. Like, hey, we about to go. They were down the Big Tree getting some drinks. I'm playing video games. Fast forward. I hope Coach Osborne ain't listening.
Statute of limitations is over. You're good.
We're redshirted. First national championship. It's like, we ain't playing. So, we sneak out a little bit down there at Coconut Grove. So it was me, all of us at Ruck. And so we're trying to get into this club, right? And they say, you get the flyers, say Dan Marino in there. We ain't getting in. So, sometimes Strick, you just gotta just
pull your card.
You throw the line in there, right?
And see what comes out.
So it was upstairs. I remember on the second floor, and I thought I saw him, because he was VIP. So I walk up there and bowed up to the security. I said, "Listen, man, I'm here with Dan Marino. Go tell him Chuck Foreman's son Jay Foreman's there, and I got my boys with me." And he remembered me, man, from so that'd be 12 or 13. So I had to be 18 going on 19.
Yeah.
Got us in the club. Wow. All underage, and we kicked it too. Yeah.
Had a ball.
Yeah. But Dan Marino was solid though.
Yeah.
Every time we played him, I'd see him and stuff.
That's good.
He's solid
That's a good
though.
story, my boy.
But you know what it taught me though, Strick? That when he was at the apex,
game, right?
Always was cool. Treat people cool. You know what I mean? Good to see that stuff. There's a lot of guys that get to that status that don't do it, man.
Brand new,
quick.
Like someone else we know around here. Not naming names.
Yeah. Like somebody else we know around here, Jay Foreman.
Who?
We're not naming names.
We're not naming names, Jay Foreman.
We all know who, though.
You ain't looking at me. I ain't getting brand new. Why you always see you can't? Why you gonna start my weekend off like that, man?
I'm basically saying we just understand that there's people out there like that.
Yeah, there's some out there. Yeah, they get brand new. It's cool though.
Right.
It's all good.
Tricky, you going to get that fresh bottle?
That's
Uncle
a fact.
Kev?
I'm on my way to Uncle Kev. Uncle Kev, I'm on my way, baby.
We'll let you out of here. It's been a good week. Come back with us next week here for On the Block 2 to 4, brought to you by Nebco. But don't go anywhere. Jay Foreman, DP Old School, next.
Hi, I'm Senator Bo Ballard. I was born and raised in Lancaster County, learning the value of